Hello everybody and welcome to Braystation. This is Daniel with the Insomniac's Marvel's Spider-Man review. First, let's jump into the story. So you follow Spider-Man and Peter Parker as they journey through New York, saving civilians and doing all sorts of different side missions, while Mr. Negative is seemingly your main villain. And after you take him down, Dr. Octavius takes on the form as Doc Ock, and he brings together what is known as the Sinister Six, which involves Electro, Rhino, Vulture, Mr. Negative himself, Scorpion, and Doc Ock as the leader. If you haven't played it, you definitely should, and I don't want to ruin the ending, but a game has never made me feel this emotionally impacted in a long time. I cried a little bit, guys. I'm gonna be honest, I cried. So let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay. So Spider-Man is a action-adventure game with slight RPG elements mixed in with the gameplay. You're going to be able to go around New York City, and the city's actually alive. There's civilians everywhere that you can actually interact with. Now, you're going to be able to get different tokens by completing certain side missions and story missions, and even some missions specifically for Peter Parker. I actually enjoyed these Peter Parker mini games. You have to splice certain things together and do things that Peter Parker would do because he is a scientist in this game. Working with Dr. Octopus, you actually can go to Doc Ock's lab, and there will be 2 different stations for you, and you can do these different mini games and gain tokens. Now, all these tokens are going to allow you to create different suits, create different gadgets to help you with the baddies and fighting. So he's got things like electric webbing or spider drones, things to help you take care of the tougher enemies in the game. And you also level up throughout the game, gaining experience points by doing something as simple as swinging around town and doing tricks in the air, or completing some of the missions. And there's many different suits. Some of them you'll recognize from the comic books and movies, and some Insomniac has made themselves. Now, the gameplay is very fluid and tight. It's going to be a lot of dodging and jumping around and using your webbing integrated in with the fist combat. So it's just like Spider-Man would fight. I've heard this game compared to the Batman games a lot. Now, even though the Arkham games are great, and it's got great combat as well, the combat's focused more around Batman. So, although there's similarities, because it's an action-adventure game and you're beating up bad guys as a superhero, it is different enough where if you play it like you'd play the Arkham games, you're gonna die. Once you start playing the game and getting used to the controls and learning when to dodge and when to strike and how to take care of some of the shield bad guys and the big boss bad guys, you're gonna really enjoy the fluid agility that Spider-Man has. So let's talk about Mary Jane. Now, Mary Jane's gonna have 5 missions total. I was actually really excited because she's not just the damsel in distress, and it was supposed to be like Metal Gear Solid-esque type gameplay where you're ducking and hiding and trying to get intel. Throughout the game, Mary Jane wants to be looked at as Spider-Man's partner, almost as an equal, and not just some girl getting in the way. And in the mission, when you're trying to take out the guards one by one, you have to distract certain guards and break up the groups and call Spider-Man at the right time where he'll come down with his web and grab up the bad guy and take him up. And then in the last one, Mary Jane gets a taser gun and you can sneak up behind the bad guys and tase them and avoid the other ones so you're not in sight. If they were all like those, there would be almost nothing bad to talk about in this game. Also, you get to play as Miles, But those are real lackluster and kind of buggy too, especially the one where you're trying to avoid Rhino. I would get caught for almost no good reason. Also, there are some technical issues and plenty of bugs, sadly enough. The game has been patched since then, and it's fixed a lot of the bugs, but a lot of them remain. Most of the bugs, though, can actually be used to your advantage and be really funny. I got some hilarious screenshots. But other than that, this game is really well put together, and all of the gameplay with Spider-Man involved was amazing. And I kind of just hope that with the sequel, if they're going to have more Mary Jane missions, actually make it like a stealth mechanic game. Alright, so to wrap things up, Spider-Man is a great game. As a fan, and how much I loved the game and enjoyed it, and the story affected me so much to the point where it made me cry, I want to give this game a 10. But because of some of those technical issues I talked about, and really the giant problem with the Mary Jane and Miles missions, I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10. Now I hope that Insomniac, when they make their sequel, that if they want to include Mary Jane, they'll build onto those mechanics and actually make it so that I want to play them, so it's not boring. The entire time you're playing with her, the mechanics are almost non-existent. You just move around and distract them with noises. So other than this one where you're actually with Spider-Man and being a team, and the one where she has a taser gun and you can actually take out enemies, the other ones, the first 3 out of her missions were terrible, and the Miles ones, all of them were bad. So because of those pretty big problems, I'm going to have to give the game a 9 out of 10. Because even when I think about replaying the game, I'm dreading having to replay those Mary Jane missions. And a game should not make you do that. You should be able to enjoy everything that it comes with. And because I didn't, that's why I'm going to not be able to give it that almost near perfect 10 out of 10. So with that being said, again, I hope Insomniac can just build upon this amazing foundation that they've given us with the Marvel Spider-Man series, and I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. This has been Daniel with Braystation. I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you for listening. See you next time.